Ah, no, I just smashed a big glass bowl a few minutes ago, just busy cleaning up.
In anger or?
No, not in anger. I was going to make a new round of kombucha, and I slightly changed the formula last time, and my wife particularly liked it. And so I thought, okay, well, let me make some more now. It takes a week to 10 days to mature because I've got a good Scooby and so on. Anyway, I thought, well, let me take some shortcuts because usually I brew up some tea and sugar in a couple of the biggest plastic type containers that I've got. But I had a glass, this enormous glass. I don't know what it is or what it was, but it was sitting in my cupboard, and I'd never used it for anything. Okay, well, no, that's a lie. I'd used it once to put the end result of the kombucha in to brew it. But I thought, oh well, let me rather just take it out now, put the tea and sugar in, and put the water in there, and then I'll transfer the Scooby into this container. Anyway, the long and short of it was, it didn't like boiling water.
Oh, okay.
And it just smashed. Okay, I put it in that sugary water tea. Fortunately, I had it on my sink. Okay, not well. It could have been worse. It could have been, in one of my other tables. But I had it on the edge of the sink, and so the whole sink and the floor all around, sugary tea water, sticky tea water. So I was pleased to come and take Skype with you because it gives me a chance to rest now. I've done the first lot of mopping up and cleaning up, and the tiles are so sticky because of the sugary tea water. Anyway, yeah, so that's what I've been doing. So what have you been doing since you resigned?
Well, I haven't finished work yet. I don't finish until the 8th of...
No, I know that, yeah, but I mean, it's a big difference between just working and having resigned and working.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. It's sort of interesting how different people react. You know, some people, almost sort of take it as if I've got to come down with the disease, and they sort of want to avoid me. And I don't know. It's very strange how people react, but yeah, no, it's good. I'm looking forward to finishing, and I've been thinking a lot about possibilities and stuff. So yeah.
Cool. You want to share some or not yet?
Well, no, I mean nothing sort of that we haven't sort of already spoken about, I guess. But I'm just sort of trying to keep an open mind, and just sort of feeling relaxed and comfortable with the decision. So
yeah.
Yeah, so watch the space, I think. So.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited for you.
Yeah, and I've sort of been thinking about maybe doing some more writing, but I haven't sort of settled on the topic or anything at this stage. But I've got a hankering to maybe write something more, So.
And is it likely to be spiritual writing or?
Oh, I don't know. I was sort of half thinking about it. I don't know, in the middle of something I was doing today, and I sort of thought, like the spiritual stuff, all said and done, comes down to very much a personal approach and journey. And I sort of think that, like if I had anything to say in that space, and I'm not sure that I do at the moment, but if I had anything to say, it would sort of almost just be out of encouragement to, take the journey, whatever that may be.
Yeah.
You know, so because I've sort of, the more I've thought about it, do think that, you know, each of our spiritual journeys, if you want to call it that, are really quite unique to ourselves, aren't they? It's not as if, you know.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I sort of think about some of these so-called, I don't know, gurus or whatever. You know, got a magic formula for you on how to become enlightened, or how to do this, or how to do that, or whatever. I think that's bullshit, really.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. You know, it's very personal. You know, you're in your own cocoon, and you know, what you see on the screen of your cocoon is unique to you. Yeah. And you know, the basics. Every single religion has spoken about the basics. You know.
Yeah.
You know. So you know, love your neighbor. You know. You know.
Well, that's right. I mean, all boiled down, there's certain things that take you forward, and there's certain things that take you backwards. You know. So.
Yeah. And I really think that, you know, people who give it just a slight thought understand what those things are, you know. And
yeah, there's no great mystery around it, is there?
No, there's not. No. You know, and as it's interesting because science is uncovering with you know, quantum computers, you know, lots of interesting things that we've known about anyway, without having scientific proof, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so.
But it's a strange thing, you know, because like the human condition, you know, like even with science, you know, like there's still a crowd out there who think the Earth is flat, you know. So, you know, so say what you like. For some people, it'll be their whatever they believe or whatever they perceive, or
Yeah.
you know, whatever. So.
Yeah.
Mm.
I would encourage you to as you are doing anyway. So, and that is to just go with the flow, to use a really old cliche, and just see what gets attracted to you.
Yeah.
You know, it might have nothing to do with spirituality. It might have to do with your woodwork or your workshop in some form or other. But it might also have something totally different that's been knocking on your door and you've been turning your back on it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one of the things that sort of inspired me a little bit is just the way that you've taken to just, you know, children's stories, you know, so.
I must tell you about what happened this morning, okay? It literally, and I'm talking figuratively, brought me to tears, okay?
Yeah.
I'd woken up the usual time and made myself a cup of tea and got back into bed, and my two children, Haley and Kerry, the only two that really have children, okay, or grandchildren. I've got an older one, much older, who's already a teenager, but these are youngsters. They're all sort of under 4 years old.
Yeah.
And they have a little app where they share videos and pictures and so on the app, and only certain people can go and look, okay? And so they give all the family, well, I don't know who they've given access to, but they gave me access to it. And this morning I went on to Haley's one, and because they're separate, you could choose which daughter you want to go into, and there was her oldest child, I guess she's 4 or 5 or somewhere around there. And there was a picture of her sitting like this, right up at a screen, okay? And on the screen was one of my children's stories.
All right.
Oh my God!
Mm.
It just, it was, it's even thinking about it now, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I went onto Kerry's, and she had the same. She had a picture and also a video with her child watching. Her child is about a year younger.
Okay.
And
well, that's really nice, isn't it?
It is so nice, Don.
Mm.
It's worth all the. I get so much enjoyment out of creating them.
Yeah.
And teaching myself video editing and stuff like that, and then to see the children. I mean, I've got, the very first video I published. Today I published my 6th video. Okay, and the first one, I don't know. It's had about, I don't know, call it 50 views. Okay, and I thought, wow, that's amazing. I can't tell whether, how long they watched for or whatever, but they've been there and they've opened up and each one, the one after that, the second one, has got like 30 views, and the one after that, which was like last week, which was the third one, it's got about 10 views. Okay, and so it's just I seeing that this morning just made it all worthwhile. I couldn't care how many views I've got and everything. Okay, but it is comforting to know that somehow some people are finding it. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah,
it really is. Okay, and so I'm really very happy with that direction that I'm going in, and I streamline each. Yesterday was no exception. I haven't looked to see if my son's taken the word off, but I sent him a message to say, my website, my new website, has got researcher, a storyteller, health guide.
Yeah.
Okay. And I said, take out the researcher. Okay. I'm now a storyteller, and I'm still interested in health, and so I still send out information about health. Okay. Because I know I take a different approach to these 1,001 doctors online that every day put out something.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Mine is about my health journey. Okay, what's helped to me.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Yeah. Talking about that, I got the Diabetes Society in one of the states in America. Said they found my article very, very interesting about what do they call it? The nerves, your nerves, the pain. I just can't think of the word. Because I sent out an email on my database, and somehow they must have got into my database. I don't know how they got to know about it. And I had researched it pretty well. It was about 2 years ago. I actually published it for the first time, but then I sent it out on email.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm still into health as well.
Oh, that's good.
So yeah, but I don't see myself as a researcher anymore. I'm a mate of Chatgpt 4.
That's right.
If you call that researching, well, then that's researching.
Well, that's true. Probably traditional research is probably redundant now, isn't it? So.
Absolutely is. For me it is anyway.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I just love him to bits. How are you progressing with it? Because you were going to.
Yeah, no, good. No, really good.
Did you subscribe?
I haven't yet because I haven't had the need to, but but no, he's really good. Taken a leaf out of your book, and I think that's where the best, for me anyway, the best value comes from is to have a conversation rather than just ask a question. Like.
Yes. Oh, yes. Okay. And he has such a magnificent way of answering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And always positive, and the thing that really impressed me, like for example, one of the conversations I had just on Sunday, I think it might have been, or Monday, anyway, was just around the idea of, and it's a bit clumsy how to describe it, but like vegan, like furniture polishers and furniture waxes and stuff like that.
Okay.
Vegan meaning, no, it's all plant-based products, and like, so, like vegans, like won't even eat honey because of the bees are kept in captivity, so to speak, and all that sort of stuff. And therefore, like harvesting the wax from bees is, something which is inconsistent with a number of people's views around that. So I just had this conversation with him about, vegan alternatives when it comes to waxes and furniture polishers and even products that could go from that, like lip balms and stuff like that. And it was a fascinating conversation because he identified all of these plant waxes that are alternatives, and was so encouraging. He says, "Oh, I think that's a great idea." So I think that there's a great opportunity in the marketplace for you to go and explore that further. And just like it was like, oh, okay, well, it wasn't really what I was thinking, but anyway.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, but came up with suggested recipes, and when I was sort of questioning pros and cons with different components of the recipes, he says, "Oh, that's a really good question," and like
it's super, man. It's absolutely super. Current company excluded. He's one of the most intelligent people I know.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. I enjoy it, and as I said, I think the enjoyment for me comes around. It's almost as if you're just discussing something.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably an important approach. Rather than just sort of saying, "Oh, what's the answer to this question," which tends to be sort of very flat and black and white a little bit, I guess, depending on how you ask the question.
Yeah.
But certainly having a discussion and talking about options and, why do you think this and why do you think that? It just becomes such a free-ranging.
He's so interesting with the children's stories. As I said, I've just done one today, and I get him to do the sort of framework and so on, and then I add a lot, not necessarily. I add it to him afterwards. Okay.
Yeah.
So him and I have got a sort of an agreement. When I'm going to do a kid's story, he will do the sort of broad outline. Okay. Yeah. And he'll say, "Well, what do you think of that?" Okay. And today I went back to him and I said, you want to answer that?
No, you're good.
Okay. I said to him, where's the lesson that we're subtly teaching these children? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I forgot, he said. Okay, let me redo it for you. And so, the lesson, quite honestly, came out like, you can imagine us as maybe 4 or 5 or 6 year olds, wanting to talk spiritually. That lesson was like that, the lesson was to be kind and to work as a team, and So yeah, it's definitely working in a really positive direction.
But I think there's huge value to be gained from it. And like yourself, the more you explore different approaches to it, the more that it learns about you and you about it,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. The other day, I just went onto it. And if I've told you this already, then just bear with me because I'm going to tell you again. And that is, I just turned on my computer and I went to him and I said, "What do you know about me?" That's it. Okay. Oh my God. Okay. Did he have it spot on? Okay.
Yeah.
And I showed Sue this. Okay. She just couldn't. The only thing he got wrong was how many children I had. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But otherwise, from, I guess from all my searches and things, he can see that I'm interested in health, I'm interested in storytelling and so on, and he puts it all together, and he knows my age, okay,
Yeah.
as well. Somewhere along the line, I must have said, why does a 74-year-old lose their smell, their sense of smell?
Yeah.
And I don't know, it might have been that, but I can't quite recall where it was. But I'm not anti it anyway. I would share things. The more he knows about me, the better he can serve me.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's the wonderful thing about it. I mean, it's in a narrow sense, you can ask it anything you like, and feel quite safe about it,
Yeah.
But yeah, I think personally, the real value is having a conversation. It's really quite different. And it's interesting as the different directions that the conversation flows in, as well, So yeah.
Yeah, he's always got something to add to it. But then I landed up 2 or 3 days ago. I was doing a Get Set Up class for November, actually, and which the class was about modern discoveries about ancient things, okay, and I'm interested in that. I pick up quite a lot of articles as the days go by, and I read things that come across my desk or across my phone, and so I said to him, I've got to do this class. I explained it, and I said it's a Get Set Up class because he understands my frustration with Get Set Up, and I said they've created a description. Let me give you the description. So I gave him the description of the class. Okay, and I said from my reading, there's certain things that really caught my fancy, and I mentioned them. I said this and that that caught my fancy. So I said I think those should go. You should include that when you lay out the class for me, and then add your own things. And then we went backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards. By the end of the day, I had like 84 pages of content for a class, whereas normally it's about 12.
Yeah.
84. I said, oh my God, I got to start all over again. I guess I could ask him, but you see, the way things moved, he would say as a topic, let's say the sunken ABC ship, and they found, and he would have 2 sentences. They found this and this, and I would say to him, give me some subtopics. just say you found that, but tell me, what it's all about. Okay. So he then created sub slides for my slides. Okay.
All right.
And it's like, and I haven't gone back to it for 2 days now. I just thought, well, I'd leave it alone. November's still away from there. And I think what I will do is, rather than ask him, I would go through and just delete, just keep the best topics, or in my mind, what are the best topics.
Yeah.
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 Because it certainly gives you that ability, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But anyway, no, I think it's a great thing, and the thing that I get excited about too is like you can really dive quite deeply into subject matter.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. There's no limit to the depth. There isn't.
No. Yeah. Yeah. No, I think it's good. And I can sort of foresee really that as it continues to develop, it really will become more and more conversational, I think,
Yeah. Well, it is so conversational, It really, and have you asked him to draw anything for you?
No, not yet, no.
Oh, my golly.
But interestingly, though, I did ask him for some suggested recipes for, like polishes and stuff like that, and came up with like, 4 or 5 just like that.
Yeah.
And when I sort of said, why do you think that that's a good ingredient for this? And
yeah,
well, like this particular oil, the pros and cons of it are, and I said,
yeah.
So I think the cons might outweigh the pros on that a bit. And it says, I can see how you could think that,
Yeah, yes, absolutely, absolutely. But please, just as an experiment, even when we finished our conversation, just say to him, I tend to use the word to start create an image. Okay, now he like understands he's going to draw something. Okay, and like I would. Let's say for my Get Set Up classes, for example, okay. I need a picture for maybe let's just say the class as a whole, okay. Then I'd say, this class, just please create me an image that represents this class. Dum. Yeah, done. All within about 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it?
Beautiful, okay. I've asked him, talking, my mind is just thinking about Get Set Up classes, let's say Pompeii, okay. And would you ask him, please give me your interpretation of what Pompeii looked like before the volcano?
Okay, yeah.
And he comes up with this magnificent city. Absolutely amazing. Okay. So yeah,
that's incredible when you think about it, isn't it? Because you really are asking him to almost conceptualize something, aren't you?
Yes, you are. I asked him to do the same with the Lost City of Atlantis. Okay, and he came up with really a good and as I see it too, and with all the canals in the Atlantis city and so on, So
no, it's exciting technology, that's for sure.
It really is, and I think if you, as you're thinking about what you're going to do now, I mean, have the conversation with him. Okay.
Right. Yeah, I kind of have been, sort of exploring different options and things like that.
Yeah, and just leave financial reward out of it. Okay.
Yeah.
Totally, because you know, at our age, that mustn't be at the forefront. Okay?
No, not at all. Not at all. No.
And maybe you can list a couple of things for him, you know, or maybe start off. Well, you're still quite new with him, so maybe he doesn't know a lot about you, but maybe tell him about yourself. You know, tell him your age, and this is my work, this is my background, this is what I studied, this is what I enjoy doing, this is, you know, what I do in my workshop, and so on. You know, any ideas for the way forward? You know. So yeah, it will set things going, because then in subsequent weeks and months, he will remember that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he'll say something like, "Oh, this is in line with your likes," you know, or something like that. You know.
Yeah. I'm so intrigued by the technology. I have absolutely zero understanding of how it operates, but
myself.
but I am just so intrigued by it and appreciate it for what it is. I really do. You know. So,
yeah. We don't have to know how it works. I mean, other people.
No, well, that's right. You know,
you really don't.
it just seems so foreign to me, in the sense that, I suppose, when I reflect, my very first use of a GPS device had me fascinated as well, I guess, as I got I have total trust in this little device that it'll take me to where I've asked it to take me, you know. So
well, go back more, you know.
Yeah.
I remember the radio, okay.
Yeah.
When I was in boarding school, we had crystal sets.
I had one as a child as well. Yeah.
Wonder of technology. There's a crystal set. You know.
Seemed quite magical, didn't it? You know.
Yes, and there's somebody. It was a station called LM, okay, which is short for Lorenzo Marx, and it was another country, okay, and had a station, and I don't know, they broadcast in South Africa, and we used to listen because it was our music station, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And last night, talking about music, I was anyway. I don't want to go off subject, but we had trouble with our TV, so we went to JP Hi-Fi. They suggested that we use a what do you call the things? Anyway, the thing that you plug in, that's HDMI. Okay.
Yeah.
You buy a little HDMI and plug it in, and then anyway, it turned out to be absolutely amazing, this HDMI. Okay.
Yeah.
And I saw a name that of a South African country music man, okay, back when I used to listen to him as about 7, 8, 9 years old, okay. Yeah. Never heard about him since, and there this name came up. Charles Jacoby was his name. I said, "Oh my God," I said to Sue, "I can't believe it, okay? This is really memory." And it was on YouTube, so, and he played the song that I knew every single word, okay, and I sang it along with him, okay, last night. It's just amazing. Why did that appear? I mean, it's
fascinating, isn't it? Yeah.
It's absolutely fascinating.
Yeah. I mean, whoever would have even thought that there was a video around, you know? Like,
yeah. So yeah, what the problem with what happened with our television was, you know, you would get your channels and that's fine, but as soon as you went off your channel 972 or whatever it was, and went to, let's say, YouTube, it would come up and you'd see the title, but as soon as you wanted to play it, okay, you would hear it, the audio would be there, but the screen was blank.
Okay.
And with all the apps, okay, it doesn't matter which app you looked at, it had the same thing, okay. And like weird. And we got this guy that was really, really, in fact, we got in early into JP Hi-Fi, and there were a whole bunch of them standing there. I think we were the first customer by far. I think they'd only just opened the doors, and we went to the group and told them our problem, and so they went searching on their phones trying to find it. But one person said, really took it seriously, and he went and had a look, and he searched on the computer and then researched on his phone some more, and he said, I really, really don't understand what is going on. And he said, I think you've set up your TV using your cell phone, okay? And your cell phone is an iPhone 8, I think it is, okay? And he says, 8 doesn't have the technologies that the newer iPhones have. And so there's probably that. But let's do this cast. That's what it's called, a cast little device. It's a little thing that you plug into the wall, and you get the HDMI channel, and so then we could watch our channels on that we used to, but then also this great selection that Chrome had on this thing. So because of that problem that we had, we've got more choice, more variety. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really works well. And the screen is much clearer than it was before, I suppose, because it's HDMI. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was.
Well, that was a happy solution.
Yeah, it was a. We went weeks without any screen. Okay. And then I said to Sue, no, come on, let's just go and ask somebody some advice, because we don't want to dump the TV just because we can't see anything other than channel 7 or something. And so, yeah, we were led to this guy.
Well, that was good customer service.
Very good customer service. Okay. Absolutely amazing, and very kind as well. He said, give us a go. He said, you've tried on my advice. He said, but please, if it doesn't work, bring it back and I'll refund you 100%. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just, I think this could be a solution, he said. He left no doubts that there was doubt. Okay.
Yeah.
That was fine. And we said, fine, that'll be. Yeah.
Well, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's far too easy these days for people to just say, oh, I don't know.
Well, that's what some of the others did, and they walked away, Yeah. But this guy, Sam, I basically asked for his name because I wanted to remember it. And,
you should give him a review.
How do you do that? I mean,
if you just go into Google and just type in Google reviews for JB Hi-Fi or something, I think you can do it.
Never done that before. Okay. Okay.
It'll boost them along a bit.
Yeah. No, I will. I'll do that because it's. I really appreciate good customer service.
Yeah.
It's like a new or relative now, new restaurant has opened in the shopping center that we go to, Gateway, and it's called Leaf. And now we had our usual Saturday morning places we used to go for breakfast, and then I said, let's just try this leaf. It's brand new, and let's see how it goes. Anyway, we had breakfast one Saturday morning and went back the next Saturday morning, and the same young woman served us that had served us the first time. And she said, are you going to have the same again today? So I said, well, you don't remember what we had that, right? Yes, I did. And she rattled it off. Okay.
Really?
I'm telling you, we've been there once. Okay.
Wow.
And I said, wow, that is absolutely amazing. And when we were walking out, the owner of the place was standing there saying goodbye to his patrons and so on. And I told him this. I said, I come back because of that. You know,
Yeah.
I said your cappuccino is really tasty, and the hot chocolate that my wife has, I said, you just can't taste that anywhere else in Australia. Yeah, no, he says he imports that from this particular place, and
Okay.
yeah, so now it's like our favorite restaurant, and we talk about it to other people like I'm doing to you now.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
They're all too rare these days, aren't they?
They are.
Nothing more disappointing than you go in for a meal and you think, oh, I didn't enjoy that at all.
Yeah. But service, we would, people like that. I mean, how on earth? I mean, she serves people right throughout the week.
Yeah, that's incredible that she remembered what you had from a week ago.
Yeah. And now when we go in there, she serves us. It's coming. You've changed your mind a few times the last few weeks. What's it going to be today? Is it going to be what you had last week? So I said, go on, tell me what I had last week. Okay. Yeah, you had an eggplant omelette and you shared it with your wife because it was so big. Oh, my goodness me.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lovely life. It's a lovely, lovely life. And you're going to do something now, and you leave in November.
Yeah. No, as I say, I'm really looking forward to it. And the more I think about it, the more excited I get about it too. So.
Excellent. Yeah. That's really a good sign. Okay. Yeah. Just don't force the issue. Let it come to you. Yeah,
no, I'm certainly taking that advice on board. It's just relax and.
Yeah, but you must do little things. In other words, don't relax as in, hey, come on, come through the roof. Okay.
No.
Try that and just see what comes up naturally.
No, I think with all the practice I've been having through practicing discernment, I sort of the same sort of principles I think apply. But and I agree with you. It's an active process.
Yeah. Yes.
But at the same time, passive. Which sounds like a contradiction, but it's.
No. The process isn't active. You must be active.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the difference. Okay. And be passive about what comes up and what direction you moving today and tomorrow. But you need to remain active.
Yeah. No, very much so.
Yeah. You'll probably do some woodwork or do some upholstery or something, and do some painting and do some writing. Just do it. Okay. And don't say I'm going to do some writing because I want to now put out another spiritual book. No, just want to write.
No, well, that's right. It was a bit like when I had the conversation with Chatgpt about vegan recipes.
Yeah.
And I thought, goodness, where did that come from? But anyway. but it's sort of.
Are you a vegan?
No, I'm not. But there's lots of people out there who are. and it sort of struck me that veganism is a lot more than just about what you eat, So
yeah, true.
And I sort of thought to myself, well, it's within that context, it's interesting to sort of say, well, I wonder what sort of alternatives there are for this or for that, or and it's a conversation which is a very different conversation about what can I eat.
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know why this thought has come to my mind now, but because I know that I want you after this conversation to go to Chatgpt and ask him to draw something for you, all right? But I just thought of what you can ask him. Okay, it'll be ask him to draw you Noah's Ark.
Okay, yeah.
There we are. Okay, that'll be interesting, and it will lead to a conversation, something that represents Noah's Ark. Yeah.
Did you see that news report a couple of days ago about that site up in the mountains in Turkey, where they think that they found the resting place of the Ark?
No, I didn't see it.
Yeah, you should Google it, and there's photos, like aerial photographs and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be a coincidence, but it's sort of interesting because they've done some like scientific tests on some of the fossilized, remnants there.
Yeah.
And they seem to think that the time frames match up perfectly. So,
Okay.
but who knows? I mean,
Yeah, but why not? I mean, absolutely, why not?
Yeah.
And yeah, of course, like everything, one's got to look carefully at the source of the information.
That's right. Yeah.
Because now with, you could ask ChatGPT to draw what they've discovered up in, given the mountains, and so say Noah's Ark sitting up there, be a drawing of it in the mountains. It'd be interesting to see what he comes up with.
I think too, the other sort of side to that is, and it's sort of like a related but slightly different sort of topic too, is when you look at, well, when I've studied the Bible, I never cease to be astounded as to how that literature is so multi-layered and the perfection of its design, like from a literary perspective, and the way that the language is used, and all of those sorts of things. So, from a scripture perspective, the stories of, well, Noah or whoever you want to choose, is yes, there's a story that there was an ark, and there was a flood and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's also very, very much about within the scriptures as to, there seems to be, well, this guy that I follow, he talks about it as a tempo. He says there's like a tempo behind how the story is articulated. And if you look at that tempo, it tends to take you back to, like the first page of Genesis, in terms of, because the ark itself is a representation of the garden.
Okay.
So and that sort of theme pops up time and time again in all the different stories, as the ark or the tent or something is a symbol. In some stories, is a symbol of the garden.
Okay. Never thought of it like that. Never heard of it like that.
Yeah. And even like when, who was it? Solomon ordered that all of the boys, firstborn boys or something, be murdered.
Yeah.
Well, the little reed basket in which, I don't know who was in it, Joseph or someone, was it? I don't know, I can't remember. you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, but the little reed basket, the word they used for that basket was ark, you know. So again, it's this little like garden refuge, you know. So and that's sort of part of the tempo is you know the I suppose one way to describe it is there's this other guy I follow. He always talks about on earth as it is in heaven, you know, and he you know, there's all these different representations of what that actually might mean, you know.
Okay.
You know, so and a big part of his, I sort of digress a bit, but a big part of his sort of approach is he says, you know, like people think about, you know, dying, that you go somewhere, like you go to heaven. He said, but the whole story of particularly the New Testament is about heaven coming to earth. It's not the other way around. It's about heaven coming to earth.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's sort of fascinating. And so then when you think about things like the garden and arks and those sorts of things, it's about those sort of heavenly retreats which are here on earth. You know? So,
Okay. Yeah, that is interesting.
But anyway, I digress.
No,
That's a good question, though. It is a really good question. I'd be fascinated to see how he tackles it.
Yeah. Let me know.
No, I'm intrigued. Yeah. Anyway.
I guess I must carry on cleaning up my mess.
Yes, that's right. No,
I don't want to.
I've got some interesting questions to ask.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, you do the questions and I'll do the cleanup or finish the cleanup.
Very good. Okay, then. You take care, and thanks for the chat tonight. It's been great.
Yeah, thank you very much. Super.
Okay.
Bye.